Based on my calculation, Keir Starmer is now 550% cooked, and Nigel Farage has just cooked Keir Starmer over the Online Safety Act. So let's get into this.
What the hell is the Prime Minister going on about?
We've got some measures which are there to protect children, in particular from sites like sites. We've had too many cases in the United Kingdom of when you look through their social media, they've been accessing, and that is what we want to stop. Nothing about censoring free speech. But this country is the
Okay, first off, bullshit.
This country is the proud free speech in this country has been for a very long time. We're very, very proud of it.
I have been absolutely furious. The government now has sweeping powers to decide what you can and can't see online. Total control, all under the guise of protecting children.
The thought police are taking shape in Britain under Starmer. What he proudly rolled out as the Online Safety Act is what Farage bluntly calls a law of pure censorship. Starmer hides behind the excuse of protecting children, but everyone sees through it. It's a shameless lie and a mask of false virtue, dressed up as moral duty while truly stripping away freedom, as Farage said. This act gives the state the power to decide which opinions are allowed and which are silenced. This act gives birth to a new elite unit of police, tasked not with chasing criminals, but with monitoring speech in social medias.
Okay, first off, those police, they're probably in fear. Whoever they hired, they're probably in fear. Regardless what you want to say, many of those British police, they're just doing their job. Unless if the Prime Minister says otherwise, they have to abide by it. They have to follow the words of the Prime Minister and the King. I'm hoping we can get Keir Starmer out of office. Since we all know the petition for that has just passed 500,000. Yeah, 500,000. I think it's already got to 700,000. I don't know if it could reach, say, 1 million, but let's hope so.
A force designed to silence dissent rather than protect the public. What was sold as safety is nothing but surveillance. And once free voices are gone, getting them back will not be so simple.
This legislation is the biggest threat to free, open debate and speech we've ever seen from a government. And if this legislation is designed to protect children, why under it are we setting up an elite police force to monitor what people say about illegal immigration and migrant hotels? Why already online are we seeing a speech from a member of Parliament being censored? And by the way, why is it 16 and 17-year-olds now cannot connect with some news content directly, but they're going to get the votes?
I'm not certain what Nigel Farage referring to, whether it's, I don't think it's BBC, okay? I'm 100% certain these 16 and 17-year-olds trying to get their access to YouTubers. YouTubers they cared. Frankly, they couldn't even find it. Yes, you may type on the search bar, but sometimes the one that they're looking for sometimes goes way, way down. Unless, of course, if they have subscribed to that creator that covers this kind of news. Like, say, Chibi Reviews, myself, Hypnotic, Smash JT, whatever it is.
Is the biggest threat to free, open debate and speech we've ever seen from...
Starmer is now restricting children's access to countless online platforms. Until the age of 18, they are forbidden from accessing full news sources, yet Starmer insists they're ready to vote at 16. But how can they make an informed choice if they are denied the ability to read and explore diverse perspectives? Farage points directly to this hypocrisy, calling it cynical and manipulative. For him, it's obvious. Starmer is grooming a ready-made youth electorate. Fresh out of school, with unformed critical thinking and heavily influenced by the ideological agenda of teachers, they are expected to walk straight into the ballot box and vote Labour.
I don't support this because I don't think you should be able to vote in an election if you can't stand as a candidate. And I don't think we should have 16-year-olds in Parliament.
Okay, which reminds me, folks, to my viewers from America or any other country, what is the recommended age for anyone to vote? Put your list in the comments. Doesn't matter whether you're Americans, Germany, Britain, whatever it is. I don't know if America has 16-year-old or 17-year-old vote, but that's just my opinion. I'd like to hear yours in the comments.
Not only do half of youngsters not want the vote, but they have to stay at school now until they're 18. The educational establishment is full of left-wing prejudice, is full of anti-reform bias. If 16 to 18-year-olds at school are going to be able to vote, we're going to have to make sure that our education system is teaching kids to make their own minds up and not indoctrinating them.
Farage warns that kids, drilled from their very first day in school to despise the opposition, will march straight to the ballot box with pre-packaged loyalty. And yet Starmer still parades himself as the great protector of children. Farage might have tolerated the Online Safety Act if it actually delivered what was promised. Starmer insists it was designed to shield the young from harm. But the grim reality is the reverse. This law leaves children more vulnerable than before. The ruling class is so out of touch with technology that they ignored one simple truth. Every kid already knows how to bypass filters with a VPN.
They also found a way, well, some people have found a way how to bypass the age verification. How, you may ask? Death Stranding. Or in this case, Stellar Blade. I'm 100% certain many teenagers who are female, they're probably going to check their age. They're probably going to use Stellar Blade, for example, that can guess whether or not that person is, in fact, above 18 or 18.
VPN. This generation practically grew up online, fluent in every trick and every tool. So instead of protecting them, the restrictions only end up crippling access for adults, cutting them off from debate, dissent, and inconvenient facts. It's censorship disguised as virtue, and everyone can see it. Worse still, once you ban information for the parents, the next generation grows up in a bubble where only one narrative survives. Farage calls this a cynical strategy. Keep the young naive, keep the older generation muzzled, and you've built yourself a permanent political monopoly. Starmer claims it's about safety, but in practice it's about control. Control of what you read, what you think, and ultimately, how you vote.
It is a possibility that Keir Starmer is going to set US and UK relation to the American Revolution, and most importantly, they want to revive the old empire that controls everything. Yes, the British Empire.
But if it was to protect children, why on earth would an elite police force be set up to monitor what people say online? Why on earth are we seeing the extent to which online material has been censored, including, I was hearing this morning, even historical comments about Richard III. This is the beginning of state censorship. It is very worrying and very frightening. As for the intended purpose of the Act, a process begun by the Conservative Party, fully understandably. Yes, of course, the original intention of the Act was honourable and correct in every way, and we would stand behind it. The trouble is that I suspect most 13-year-olds are more tech-savvy than the Science Minister, Peter Kyle, because they simply go to VPNs where they can't just access what's on the web, they can even quite easily find themselves in the even deeper and darker recesses of the dark web.
Yes, children may end up suffering more from this so-called protection law than they ever did before, Farage warns. By forcing them to rely on tools to bypass restrictions, Starmer's rules actually push them into the darkest corners of the internet. There they encounter bullying, drug markets, scams, and even sexual predators. And all of this chaos is the direct result of Starmer's legislation.
Congratulations, Starmer, you played yourself. Seriously, Keir Starmer, you are doing this at the same time you're allowing illegal immigrants to roam rampant and in hotels, and to top it all off, the British people are paying for it. What kind of excuse is that?
Meanwhile, parents find themselves silenced, unable to speak their minds freely without fearing censorship. Search engines are twisted to serve government agenda, while the very kids the law claims to shield remain exposed to the worst dangers online. Farage asks the obvious question, was this deliberate design or sheer incompetence from a clueless elite? Either answer is equally terrifying because both reveal a law that fails in every possible way. Starmer dodges whenever the hard questions appear, bending every rule to avoid facing them. More and more citizens are waking up to the grim reality of what has happened to free speech in Britain.
Wow, congratulations. I know it's very, very difficult for any of my viewers and the people of UK, aka my viewers from UK and the people of UK, to stand up and then protest. It's hard, I know, but you did the right thing and you had to keep up the pressure, okay? Sooner or later, it's going to come to a point where Keir Starmer is going to be faced with a harsh reality that this kind of thing, he can't hide from it. Regardless of what statement he made, doesn't matter what it is, the truth will come to him. The truth has chained him, bind him together. He cannot escape.
In case of Lucy Connolly, thrown behind bars for 31 months over a deleted tweet. That's not justice, that's political punishment. And now, instead of fear, we see resistance rising. Commentators, campaigners, and ordinary voices are launching a counterattack on this law, refusing to be silenced.
Whatever the government calls something, it's usually a misnomer. So if you're being sold something called the online safety bill to make you think that the world will become safer, that's usually just a badging in order to sell something that isn't quite as kind or well-meaning. Ultimate policing of speech at every level, at every conversation, in the privacy of your own home, is and will be policed and can be used against you. Of course, none of us want our children to be hurt. We don't want anyone to be abusing children. We don't want children to see things that might be abusive to them or harmful to them. We don't want people preying on our children online. Of course not. That isn't what this bill does, because behind those talking points, this bill is the most loosely worded. It's not detailed, it's not tailored down, there's no specifics. Essentially, if anything you say, write or type or think is projected and a powerful organisation wants to silence you.
This law has become nothing less than a living version of 1984 in Starmer's Britain. Once people already felt pressure not to speak openly about certain ethnic or religious groups, even when crimes were involved. Better to stay silent than risk punishment. Under Starmer, that silence is no longer just social pressure, it's enforced policy.
All it's gonna take is just one person. How do you think Joe Biden did it? Look, I'm 100% certain Donald Trump wasn't afraid to question Joe Biden and any of his administration when it comes to illegal immigration during his presidency. And now look what happened. Donald Trump is the president and illegal immigration has been deported. There are some major roadblocks, but hey, at least they're getting the job done. And honestly, look, to all Malaysians, this is probably going to affect you. What's going to happen if all Malaysians suddenly got arrested? I mean, there's still some Malaysians that are in the UK. Some of them are studying, some of them are working. And that's what worries people. Yes, even though it hasn't happened yet, but I'm not taking any chances. So I hope this video can raise enough awareness for every government in Asia and also my country, Malaysia, to be aware of this censorship and also what's happening when the UK police unit like to arrest people with illegal immigration posts.
Government jobs especially, touching on topics the party has banned can mean dismissal at best, prison at worst. Farage blasts. For months, people escaped to the internet, believing it was a last refuge of truth. Starmer has now slammed that door shut too. In practice, the creation of a new elite police unit monitoring what citizens write on social media is nothing short of thought policing, the very dystopia Orwell warned us about. Ordinary Britons are now second-guessing every post, every comment, every joke, fearful that the wrong word could destroy their lives. Even private conversations are beginning to feel unsafe, as colleagues and neighbours worry about being reported for wrong think. What was once casual speech among friends has become a minefield of potential career-ending mistakes. The result is a society where silence isn't golden, it's mandatory. And the cruel irony is that while citizens are gagged, real criminals roam free, unbothered by the same system that hounds ordinary voices into submission.
In 1984 called and he wants its Ministry of Truth back. The UK has created an elite police unit known as the National Internet Intelligence Investigations Team.
I don't know what to say, folks. Keir Starmer should have seen this. Better yet, does he even know people around the world can hound him? I'm 100% certain that his public support, of course, for Keir Starmer is kaput. Zero. Tell me something, folks. When Joe Biden was presidency, was there any people get censored for talking about illegal immigrants? Because I'm 100% certain there was censorship on that. This is probably going to be returning to the redcoats.
Investigations team.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that.
There's story after story about people being thrown behind bars in the UK, even for tweets that they have deleted.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible story. I mean, there's a woman that's in prison for 31 months, which is 4 months longer than a child rapist is in prison. They were already arresting 30 people a day for wrong speech in Britain before this. Now they have a special police task force to constantly monitor social media, and they can stop content based on age verification. So they can stop content saying, oh, this is harmful to mental health. And then X, recently, just a few days ago, did block content on the basis of the British order.
Starmer flies abroad proclaiming that Britain is a beacon of free speech. Farage exposes this hypocrisy for what it is. The truth is far simpler. Starmer's mission is to muzzle dissent while showering illegal migrants with benefits and hotel suites most taxpayers could never afford. He isn't offering charity, he's buying votes. Migrants, many who cannot even speak English, will be guided to tick the Labour box, told that more handouts will follow. That's not integration, that's manipulation. Farage warns that this system doesn't push them toward work or assimilation, it drags entire communities into crime-ridden ghettos. Police are too frightened to patrol these zones, surrendering British streets to lawlessness. Even France demands newcomers learn the language and adapt, but Britain under Starmer demands nothing. That's why hundreds cross the channel every single day, 400, 500 at a time, because here, handouts flow freely without responsibility. And all of it is funded by ordinary workers whose sweat and taxes are stolen to bankroll their own replacement. This isn't compassion, it's exploitation dressed up as virtue. Starmer is deliberately reshaping the electorate, replacing the voices of native Britons with voters dependent on his party's handouts. The more chaos he creates, the more power he consolidates.
Of course he did. He's going to consolidate power, and sooner or later he's going to revive the British Empire, which I don't think there's much empire left. That's the reason why he's doing this. Remember, you have like what? Afghanistan, Pakistan, Eritrea. I'm 100% certain Starmer is trying to revive the British Empire, and also the empire that under tyrannic rule. I had to say, even with illegal immigrants, it's not going to do well. He says like what? 500? How many people in the Brit? You know what? Let's check. So UK now has about 69 million, or in this case 69.23 million, starting on last year. I don't know if that counts as children or something, but let's just say 50 million average. How is Keir Starmer is going to get a high vote when the whole British people, not just England, but Scotland, Wales, Ireland, are now protesting against him? That's the one question they had to ask them. So again, to all my viewers from the UK and the people of UK, I know it is very difficult for you to protest and stand up without fear of getting arrested or losing your job. But you did the right thing, and you need to keep up the pressure, because sooner or later, Keir Starmer is going to bow down. He's going to cave into the pressure and resign. Keep up the pressure.
Enjoy the fireworks, fellas. Frank's been flying with the RAF longer than any of us. He's almost as good as he thinks he is.
Then he must think he's pretty damn good.
He did it! He did it! Ah, God, it's still floating. What do you guys want to play Santa and drop something down their chimney? Your target is destroyed. Down for the count. Nice work there. I have a feeling I'll be seeing a lot more of it. Now let's get out of here before they realize I'm out of ammo. We won't tell them if you don't. Just follow the captain in.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, gaming theories, or you just want to see me play games. Visit my first, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.